I've been convinced of this for several years and continue to be convinced with every encounter I have with clinicians, and not just clinicians, but leaders in the industry and hospitals and health systems, which is that provider organizations and those who work in them are primarily motivated by the desire to care for the patients that come to see them and that they manage. And it's a difficult job because you're dealing with a myriad of health issues and co-occurring health issues. And for a lot of these clinicians and healthcare leaders, when they get up in the morning, they get ready to go to work, the moment they step out of bed, they're faced with these tugs of war, these conflicts between what feels right to do for the patient and what feels good financially and rewarding financially, and they're not always the same, and that's the struggle, right? So the toxicity in fee-for-service is pulling you in a direction that can be different than the direction that you would take based on your inherent professionalism and the motivation to care for the patients. So for example, you'll recommend doing tests even though that you know perfectly well that there's very little evidence of their efficacy. Or in some instances at the margin, you'll recommend that a patient get a procedure done because you justify in your own mind better safe than sorry, but at the end of the day, you know that there's no strong evidence. It's probably not going to harm the patient. And oh, by the way, it's also going to bring revenue into the organization. So that's the issue, right? Which is what should be done for the betterment of the outcomes of the patient isn't necessarily tied to the betterment financially of the organization that delivers the care. And that tension, that toxicity, that friction is really what value-based payment and payment reform is all about. I'm not a big believer in the notion that you can constantly, kind of tweak incentives to motivate ideal behavior. It really is a lot more about doing no harm first, kind of taking out the stuff that is harmful or potentially harmful, and will lead to decisions that go against the inherent professionalism of the clinicians managing patients.